Hi everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today I thought I would do a series review because I don't do those often enough. But today we're going to talk about Alcatraz vs. the Evil Librarians by Brandon Sanderson and, well, the last book by Jansen Patterson as well. So let's get started. So the books in the series are Alcatraz vs. the Evil Librarians, The Scrivener's Bones, The Knights of Crystalia, The Shattered Lens, The Dark Talent, and Bastille vs. the Evil Librarians. For the sake of not ruining my wrists, I'm just gonna keep holding up the first book as a representative of the entire series. I started reading this series a long time ago. So I originally started reading this series in 2018, in the month of May actually, so it's a few years ago. And I ended up finishing it in February of 2023. So it's been a long way awaiting. But yeah, let's talk about this series and what it's about. So in the first book we meet Alcatraz Smedry. It's the eve of his 13th birthday. He ends up getting this package from his dad, who he actually thought was dead. It's this sort of mysterious bag of sand, and he doesn't really know what to do with it, so he just ends up leaving it in his room. And later on he realizes that the bag is missing and the sand is gone, and turns out the evil librarians has stolen it. And also this old man ends up knocking on his door, telling him, "I'm your long lost grandpa," and adventure ensues. So basically Alcatraz has a lot of relatives he didn't know about, and they all have sort of mysterious gifts. Alcatraz can break things, not always when he wants to, but it happens. One of his relatives is always late. One can get lost. One can lose things. One always trips in, peculiar places, and so on and so forth. So they all have a sort of special ability. Sometimes it can be used in as an advantage, and sometimes it's definitely a disadvantage. So Alcatraz ends up joining his grandpa, and they run into all sorts of trouble. They have to save the world, the universe, of course. And I really like Alcatraz's relationship with his grandpa. Also like his relationship with his friend called Bastille, who ends up getting to know early on in the first book. All of their relatives are very peculiar, to say the least. They're really fun to read about, and they're not always in, like, all of the relatives are not in every single book, but you get to see them on and off again, and there's like one new relative in each of the books, which is so much fun, honestly, because there's always a new character to get to know, new dynamics to get into, and new adventures that ensues and shit like that. And the reason I like this series so much is it's such a quick read. We get to read from Alcatraz's point of view for the first 5 books, and he's very sarcastic. He sort of breaks down the fourth wall and like talks to the reader and explains, like, I have to tell you the story like this, but what really happened is this. And I'm sort of joking with the reader straight on instead of just telling the story, which is really fun. And it's also, since Alcatraz has been born in like the world that we know of, he has some points of views on different technology and stuff, and like magic. And then we have the ones that are actually born in the like Norhala, where his relatives are from, and they think that stairs are more advanced than elevators and swords are more advanced than guns and stuff like that, which always ends up being a really interesting discussion. You basically get to follow Alcatraz and how he saves the world with his relatives, all using different abilities, and something or some things always ends up going wrong, and it's weird, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's very sarcastic. You kind of spoil you in some parts, like this is going to happen, but like not for another 4 books, so don't you worry. And they go like, I did tell you this was gonna happen, why are you so upset about it? So yeah, I really enjoyed this series. Ended up giving the first 5 books 5 stars for the second time around. I think in the first time I read them, some of them I gave it like 4.5, but I raised them all to 5 stars because they're awesome. This last book, the 6th book, which is co-written by Jens Patterson, which is from Bastille's point of view, I had some mixed thoughts about, unfortunately. I don't know how much I want to say because I don't want to spoil, but basically I didn't like Bastille's voice as much as I thought I would. I thought her point of view would be more in capturing, and I thought she would be, well, sort of more Bastille in the way of like Alcatraz's eyes. In this one, she's just kind of sort of mushy and emotional and just kind of there, and she's not as kick-ass and sarcastic as we've all known her to be and loved her to be. So I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is really, really sad because this is a really good series overall. Yeah, as always, I love Brandon Sanders's books. I will, hopefully before I die, read all of his books. You can definitely tell that I have a lot of books. This is where the Alcatraz vs. the Evil Librarian series usually go, so that's why it's open. But I have 2 shelves with just the red books I have from him, and soon I'm going to empty out this shelf and, you know, make it more Sanderson. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I hope you like this sort of series review. Hopefully I will be able to do more in the future, depending on what series I end up reading and enjoying, or disliking very much. Depends. Just a book series I have a lot of opinions on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below if you have read this series or not, or if you would be interested in picking it up after listening to this review. I don't know why you would, but rambling sometimes inspire readers, because that's what works on me at least. But yeah, I hope we see each other in the next one, and I hope you guys have a nice day or evening. Bye.